Hey. Hi. So hi everyone. If you guys don't know me already, I am actually the 2022 to 2023 District Technology Chair. I'm Christina, and we're going to be talking about creating and improving a club website, but we're going to do it more towards like you have like no technology background, like no coding background whatsoever. Because if you're like trying to like learn how to make it from scratch, you already know more than me. But let's go ahead and start with my introduction, just so you know about like where I come from and like my qualifications and stuff. So before I was the district technology chair, I was actually the club technology chair. So I was like in your boat literally a year ago. And I'm a fourth year psychology and math major. So at UNLV, I put the full name right there because some people don't know where UNLV is apparently. But oh shoot, I forgot to put my fun fact, but I'll just add that later. But anyway, so you can see I have no technology background whatsoever, like no coding whatsoever. So if I made it through, you can make it through. But I was gonna put a fun fact, but oh shoot, there's more people in the waiting room. But anyways, fun fact about me is that I was featured in a Harry Styles TikTok compilation back in their concert back in September 2021. If you want to see that link, you can just message me and I'll like show you later. But for now, let's go ahead and get started with the webinar. So let's first like start doing the basis of WordPress. I don't recommend WordPress if you have no coding background whatsoever, because it's gonna take a while for you to learn. Like our district website right now uses WordPress and I'm still learning. So, but if you are like, have like some coding experiences, you can go ahead and try out WordPress. It's not that hard to learn, but it does take a while because you do need like some coding process. But here's the basics of using WordPress. If it would just, so go to the next slide. Okay, domain. You gotta choose your domain because that's like what you like people use to search up your club website. So it's important to use something that represents your club and it's easy to remember. So I know like some clubs, they have like a general domain because they use like one exact website for the entire like year. So any term, so they use it for like last term, next term, like and so on. I know some clubs choose it like specific towards the current term. I know like my home club, we make a whole new website every year. It's specific to the term. That's probably like a lot more tiring, but I was like, yeah, so you get to choose your like domain based on like what your club and stuff. There are both free and paid options. So talk to your club if you like want to choose the paid version, because the paid version makes it really easy. Like for us, we have cnhok.org. You can just like type that and then you'll see the website, versus like the free option has some stuff like afterwards. I know this one on WordPress, it's like something.wordpress.com, which is like an extra something, but it's also free. So that will depend on like what your club is and like what your club preference is for your domain. So like next step is you choose your design. So there are two options. You could like start from scratch and choose a blank template and add the elements as you go on, or you could choose a pre-made template. I found myself like thinking it's like easiest because I was like totally new to making a website last year, that you choose a pre-made template and then that way you could like edit from there. You know, you could like delete stuff, you can add stuff, you could like shift stuff around based on your liking. It's just, I found it easier to have it all laid out for me right there versus just like starting from blank and I'm like, I don't know what to add on there. So yeah, so there's tons of options when it comes to picking the design and stuff. And then the next step is like editing a website. So here's some features on WordPress that I've like found that like could be useful when you're like editing a website. So for the text, there's like paragraph, headings, lists, quotes, and then there is options for you to code. So if you do know how to code, that will be like where you would put it over there. And then there's like media, because so you're able to add like images, galleries, audio, just like tweak it to your like design, to your liking. So that way it just shows your club and it's really useful. So that way you could like put your club videos or like put your club photos on the website. And then over at the other ones are like just how you want to organize the website. So sometimes there's like sections of websites you can add, or rows or stacks. Just like play around with it. But those are like some general senses of like the features on WordPress. And then there's so many options. So like there's over here like archives, calendar. The only thing about calendar is like it's based on like the WordPress post. but I was like categories list, it's all that. So just a lot of it when it comes to editing a website is just playing around with it and like learning the features. I think you're gonna most likely use embedded just to like put in your YouTube or like Twitter, Instagram stuff, event countdowns, themes, just all that. So there's just some features you know about if you like press the plus sign button on the top left photo, and then you'll just see all the options that you could like use while editing a website. And so here's some examples if you want to edit something. So like this one here is like you have the title, and then you could just put like a little tagline, you know, like service leadership, fellowship. And then there's options where you could just like align it, like to center it to the left or to the right, or you could like move it. And then there's even an option on here where you could just replace it with a site logo. So I was like, yeah, so this is just like some example of like how you want to like play with around with like a club website title and all that. It's just totally up to you. And I think I do have something over here. So here, if you use like a pre-made template and there's already a photo there and like you want to replace it, you just like click on the photo and then you select what media, and then you just upload the picture and it'll replace it from there. So WordPress is a little more complicated. Even I'm still learning about it. So like the next option I have for you guys here is using a website with Wix. The only downside about Wix is because there's not that many like customizations that you could do, but it's very easy if you don't know how to like make a website, because I've used this and it's so helpful. Like no technology background whatsoever. This is what I like recommend, and it's like really easy to learn too. So with Wix, it's kind of like the same process. You know, you get to have a free option of like what domain you want and like, or like buy a domain. I know Wix is a little more complicated with theirs. So like if you go to at the top where it says like site actions and then you click rename, and then you can rename the title, and then also don't forget to rename your URL. But like, yeah, you see over there, it's like cnhtech.wixwebsite.com/whatever your website name. Like that's the free option. It's a little long to remember, but it's free. But if you want to do a domain where it's just like, let's say like UCLA, like CKI.com, you would have to buy that, and that's paid. But that's, again, talk to your club to see which option you could do for that. But after you pick a domain, it's like you pick a design. And the thing about Wix is like they ask you questions of like what kind of website you want. So like there's one with like a blog, a school website, an educational website, all that. So like sometimes they'll ask you questions so that way they can like give you a list of options of like what pre-made templates you want. Or if not, you could just click a blank design and like start from scratch. But again, I've always found making a pre-made design was a lot easier than like making it from blank. So I was like, yeah, there's a lot of like design layouts that you want. I know this one that it's being shown right now is just one for the blog website. So once you pick the design or layout, or if you want to start from scratch, here are some features that you can know about while like editing on Wix. So when you go on the plus sign, there's like tons of options on Wix you see. So like there'll be text, and it'll be this vary from like having a heading or like a title or a paragraph, yada, yada, yada. Then there's an image one where you could upload images, like have a photo, like even galleries, you could have like a photo gallery and just like slide it over. So you could just use all this and explore to your best ability. And then it's basically just looking through like all the elements on there and then see which one you want to add to the website or which one you feel most comfortable with. But it's all there, and they kind of explain how to use it like when you click on it too. So I know like here's an example of editing something. So like this one is like a photo strip. So all you got to do is like click image and then you just replace it. And there's also an option where during the photo gallery, you can like, they'll just give you a whole like media list of like the photos that you want to add and like replace or like move around and stuff. It's just totally up to you. And then this one is like an example of like how you could like change your social media link, because they have an option where you could link your Facebook, your Instagram, Twitter. They have Pinterest on there, but most clubs do like their YouTube, or they put their Discord, because Discord's been using a lot too. So you could just add like social media links. I know you could add like contact pages. You can add another text. You can add like a calendar and all that. it's just a lot of this when it comes to the website is just playing around with it and just doing it like based on like what your club needs or what you want for your website. And so let's talk about the general things that could be applied to both or like any other website platforms. I know Weebly is like used to make a website, but I haven't used Weebly, so I can't help you there. But like these are like general things that you need to know for the website, and especially if you're like gonna enter the best like the website award for FTC. These are like some of the requirements that might help you out with that. So the first step is like the home page. The home page is like your first impression towards a club. It's kind of like if you go on a date with this guy, you want to like see if you want to like go on, you know, if you want to like get to know this guy more, you know, you have to give a good impression. So that's why it's important to like make your homepage like both appealing and like organized. Because if it's really hard to use and navigate, no one's gonna like continue using the website, you know. So this one is USULB Long, it's for Long Beach like website. I think this was the winning website from last year, but I was like, you could see it's very clean. And if you scroll down, they have like their announcement, upcoming events for their website, for their home pages. There are more examples later that I will show you where you could see the examples, but the basically is just you want to have your home page just be nice and appealing. I know some people have just like a general sense, just like looks nice, and some people like to tweak it towards like their club theme for the year. It's just totally up to you, but that's how the home page is like. Now to add pages. So you're gonna have to have different types of pages. So I know a lot of it's like you need to include the club officer contact page for like one of the stuff, and pages will help you. It's basically it's just navigating. So like you could have a club officer contact page, about us contact page, a calendar one, maybe like one for like service, leadership, fellowship, totally up to you, but you need to know how to make a page if you want to add all of that. So on WordPress, it's a little tricky because you have to go on your dashboard, your like WordPress dashboard, and then go on the tab and click pages, and then you click add new. And then from there, it'll give you options to add stuff, elements. So you could add like text, you could add photos, all that. So it's just like, that's how you make a new page, and you just keep continuing that. And then on the side, forgot to put a picture on there, but there's going to be on the side where you could just like place which page you want to go. If you need more help with that, you could contact me later and I'll help you when it comes to like navigating which page it is. But let's see, for Wix is kind of more simple because it's like on the top, there's like page and then the type, what page you're going to be on. So if you click page and click manage pages, there's an option for you to add a new page from there. And then if you click the three dots, that way you'll make a sub page, and a sub page is kind of like tabs or sections. So like, you know how, like you go shopping and then like there's like clothes and then you hover over it and then there's like tabs where it's like top, shirts, bottoms and stuff. It's kind of like that kind of organization. So like Wix has an option where you could just organize it kind of like that. And after you add a page, you can just edit based on the desired purpose or like what you want to do for the club. You could add how many pages, you could do whatever design. For the most part, you could just basically follow a checklist, which I'll have a link towards that towards the end. But now is how to link things, because you're going to have to link the Circle K website, so like the district website, the international website, and your division website on your club website. Because I think, if I remember right, that was one of the requirements. Okay, yeah, that's one of the requirements. And you might want to link things like membership forms or like news article forms or Zoom links, Google Drive folders for the photos, etc. So like linking things is important. So it's really easy. All you got to do is just like make a text. So like you could say, click here to access the Zoom link. And then if you highlight the text for both of them, there's a little link icon, and then you just post the link, and then that's it. It's really easy. So you just keep doing that, or you just have your required. There'll be examples. They have a link to examples to the end, but I was like, for the most part, you just click the link and then you link it, and then that's how it links. See what else? The calendar, because calendar, I'm pretty sure that's also another requirement for the website. So there are many options when it comes to a calendar. If your club has a Google Calendar, it's probably the easiest that way. So that way you could just link the Google Calendar onto the website, and it's all there. So I know Wix, if you go to embedded, like if you go to the plus sign option that I showed you earlier with all the features, and you go under embedded, you just choose Google Calendar and then connect it to your Google Calendar, and then it just syncs up. And then on Wix, if you go to the embedded code and then under like the plus sign button again, and then you either enter the Google Calendar link, because there's an option under embedded code where you just do an URL, or the HTML link. If you want to find the HTML link, you go on, I think it's like you go on Google Calendar and it's like the share button, and there's an option for you to find the HTML code. It's a little complicated. I just like use the link and it works. So, and then the second option is like something that's built in with two websites. So WordPress, if you go under plugins and search for event calendar, you have to activate that and then set that up. Versus Wix, there's one if you go under add section. So it's like under the plus sign button, there's like this part where it says add sections. You go all the way down to events and there's an option for an event calendar. So if you don't like the way Google Calendar looks, then those two options are like good for you. So now let's talk about improving a website. So like some tips and tricks, that I've learned along the way while being a technology chair. So try to update your website as frequent as possible. I know I have a hard time with this a lot because my schedule gets busy, but you want to have it as updated as you can, just so your members can like get the resources they need and everything up to date, and they can actually use it, because an out-of-date website is kind of like, you can't really use it because it's out of date. But if you are busy like me, I tend to find like trying to do it monthly or bi-weekly is the easiest to do, or just set a time and day in your schedule where it's like updating on the website, and then that will probably help with that. Include resources and links that your club frequently uses, especially because if you're like one of those clubs where like a lot of the stuff that you say is like said out loud during the slides, but they can't find anything else from that afterwards, or even it's like announcements on Discord, because like those tend to get lost really easy once like more announcements come up and more announcements comes up. Just include those. So you could just include like Discord, YouTube. I know if you guys have newsletters, you could post all your newsletter links, or there's an option on WordPress where you could like connect it to issue, use that for your newsletter, membership forms, like all that, or like service totals. So just like put all of your resources that your club frequently use like on the website. So that way it's like all in one place, and like the members just have to go to that place to access those resources. I've also found, having a feedback form is like really useful, just so you could see like what's good, like what's easy to use for members, like what's hard to use by members, or like what members wish to see on the website. Just having that feedback just knows like what you need to improve on the website, and how to like make it like more accessible and like more appealing to your members. And some stuff. Don't forget to work on the mobile versions of the website. This is a mistake I made last year, because I forgot to like edit the mobile version of the website, but luckily both of WordPress and Wix has an option, because there will be like a screen icon. It'll be like a computer, a laptop, and then your phone. But Wix is like phone and desktop. But I was like, yeah, so if you click on the mobile version, try to like edit, if you can, edit simultaneously. If not, you could just work on the desktop version and then work on the mobile version later. It syncs up. It's just you have to adjust it based on the phone screen, just because some people tend to view their websites on their phone because they always have it on them and it's easy to access. So if you work on the mobile versions, it'll help like navigate both sides, and it makes it more accessible. And don't worry if you don't get the hang of it in one go. I know for me, it took me like 2 or 3 months to like navigate everything and like figure out how to use a website. It takes a lot of learning. It takes a lot of like exploring that platform and exploring how to use the option. It's just, just got to play around with it, because like once you keep playing around with it and you like learn the platform that you're using, it'll come faster and then you get used to it. So that's like the big takeaway, and like what you have to remember when it comes to this. It's just like, don't worry, it's not going to come fast to you. It's just, it takes a lot of learning. And then, these are the resource guides that I told you. These are what I've used when I was club technology chair. If the QR codes don't work, because I didn't test them out, if you go on the CNH, okay, cal-nev-ha.org and go under resources and technology, those two links will be there. But I found this really helpful because the club website manual goes kind of like step by step of like what you need to do for like a club website and like what to include. And then the club website screenshots are like examples of past clubs and like what they did if you want inspiration. So like keep note of these two because they're really useful. And if they cover anything that I might have missed, you can look over there. So I found this really helpful when it comes to there, especially with the club website manual, there's a checklist. So that way you could just check off to see if you have everything, or you could use the website award to like the website award application just to use as a checklist too. I found that helpful as well. And then, yeah, I kind of breezed through that a little bit. But also, yeah, if you have any questions, you could like literally ask now or through Discord or email me, because I know it's hard to give it a general sense. So like if I talk to you one-on-one and see what you need, then it's easier to help you based on needs because it's a lot for a website. But yeah, is there any questions right now? Okay, Andrew?
Yeah. Do you have any is there a way to automate updating your calendar so that you have to do less work?
I know Google Calendar.
Or not calendar, website.
The website, no. If there was, I was like, if there was a way, I think we would all would like it because it makes things easier. But I was like, no, you gotta actually go back and then edit it manually, and then yeah.
If there's CS majors here, code something, please.
I was like, yeah. Dave.
Hi, yeah, great presentation. I had a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Are there any requirements for CKI or Kiwanis when they build this website to have the Kiwanis emblems and symbolisms on there?
Yeah, there is a requirement where you have to add the masthead and some of the emblems on there. So the website guide also mentions it too. So if you want to if you don't know where to find that, just go on the CNH .org website and then go under resources, and under communications and marketing, there'll be a graphics assets, and then that's where you could find all the logos and emblems on there.
Awesome, thank you. And your QR codes did work.
Okay, I'm so glad. I was so worried for a second. Okay, Austin.
Oh yeah, thanks so much, Christina, for the wonderful presentation. I was wondering if you have any design choices or design recommendations that you have that would make the website easier to maintain from year to year.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of it, I think. Oh, I think a lot of it. Let me see if I could pull up one of the guides right now. If I could just, where's the button? This is let me see how to exit full screen. I was yeah, sorry, oh my God. Oh my gosh, okay, hold on, I'm sorry. Where is the link? Okay, here we go. Yep. I've seen a lot of the structures on the club website references to be really useful. If I could just find it. But I was a lot of the layout, I think it's just section unit based on needs and stuff. So here it's just you have an about, a gallery, and resources. I found that also kind of useful. Or you could just simplify about us or events. You could also do it based on the 3 tenets too. So service, leadership, and fellowship. I've just found if you split it based on the actual use instead of just having 2 or 3 tabs, I just found that a lot easier to use and maintain, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that does make sense. Thank you so much, Christina. I also have an additional note for our webinar participants and those watching the recording. I believe in this guide, it uses the outdated Circle K logos and division logos. So just keep in mind that the division and the current CNH EKI logos shown here are not the most up to date, but the most up to date ones are in the graphic assets folder that Christina mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so I found it useful to just like use both this and like the website application, because like that also goes to the requirement that you need. Just like use this like simultaneously. I know like this guy's really useful like visually to use. But yeah. Are there any other questions?
What is one thing you should absolutely not do when making your website?
Absolutely not do. I know for one, it's just like don't put too much things all at once, because it'll be really confusing on like both ends. And then another thing, I'm trying to think what I didn't like. Oh yeah, just like also, hold on, I don't remember. I was like, yeah, just like don't do everything all at once, or just like make it really like overwhelming, because it'll be overwhelming on both you and like your end, like on both like their end and then your end. Are there anything else? Oh yeah, proofread. Proofread before posting works a lot, and then also like double check everything, because there's a lot of typos or like some things don't work, especially to make sure like stuff and like links work, because imagine if you post that and then the link doesn't work, it doesn't go well. Are there anything else?
Alrighty then. So I guess seeing as there are no further questions, we'll go ahead and end the webinar recording. And thank you all to all of our participants watching the recording. Thank you all so much for listening attentively, and always feel free to reach out to Christina if you have any help building a website.